This is the fifth video in a series on how to do a cybersecurity risk assessment and forms part of the first stage of the GRC lifecycle, assess risk. Having come up with our list of risks in the previous video using information provided by the client, in this video we will look at how in real life it's highly unlikely that we actually have all the information that we need at this stage, and how we will need to identify what information is missing and how to get that from the client. Despite having completed the information gathering phase, there could be reasons why this was insufficient. We may have asked questions that nobody could sufficiently answer. Maybe the one person who could answer the question was no longer at the company or organization. The one person who could answer that question may be unavailable because they are sick or they went on holiday. Answers provided to us may have been incomplete, or we simply did not ask the right questions. It's very possible that the client stakeholders know all the information that we need, but if we didn't quite ask them, they're not necessarily going to volunteer the information to us. It's not because they're trying to hide things. They may just not realize that they're an expert in the system and we're not, and we may need lots of little details given to us. And if we don't ask those specific questions, they simply won't think of giving us information. It could also be that when we are trying to gather this information, we are busy trying to process what the client is saying, where we're taking notes, trying to get everything down. And it's only afterwards that we can go back and really think about the information that we were given and try to connect the dots ourselves. And only in that situation do we realize that, oh, actually, I don't quite know how this works because I feel like something is missing. Or you think the client said something and you wrote it down, but you're not quite sure, and you just want to go back and clarify things. This is perfectly normal. It's extremely unlikely that you get every piece of information that you need straight away from the client and everything makes perfect sense. Maybe if it's a simple system that you're looking at, but it's highly likely that there will be things missing and you'll have to go back and clarify with the client. If we look at our data flow mapping diagram from an earlier video, this may have been given to us by the client, or maybe they told us information and we have created this ourselves. We consider for this example that the app, my app, is only sending customer information to the CRM. Then how does the CRM know what product offers and delivery information to send to the customers? Well, in this case, we could say that it's due to manual input, that someone is directly putting this information into the CRM. It's not necessarily a system sending it across, but an employee is typing this in. And the client may not have mentioned this in our interviews with them where we're asking how everything works because it simply didn't occur to them. It's normal. They're saying, oh, these systems are connected. And if we don't ask specific questions like, oh, I noticed that this information is not necessarily getting into the CRM from my app, where is that coming from? Then they're not necessarily going to tell us. And when we consider what's going on here, that we have employees manually entering information, maybe in this case, we want to actually come up with a new risk, because it could be that employees accidentally enter the wrong information into the CRM since it's not coming from a system. And we may not have had a risk around that sort of thing before. So this additional information from the client can actually reshape the risks that we have or lead to additional ones being added. If we go to the assessment scope section of our security risk assessment document, this scope narrative that I have here that I got from the AI prompt that I initially used, it mentioned a lot of information, but there were definitely things that I noticed were missing. So to simulate this phase of needing additional information from the client, because we go back and look at what we've collected and we come up with risks and we realize that we have these gaps, I put notes into here for where I decided to add additional information just based on past experience doing risk assessments, where you would want to look for certain things. And if you realize it's missing in what the client gave you, then this is something you need to follow up on. For example, initially, there was no mention of where the proprietary code for the digital logistics platform was stored. So I added in GitHub as a code repository. So you could come up with risks around this confidential information because it's a proprietary system that CTL have spent time and money developing. That would be additional confidential information that they need to protects you. You might have risks specifically around this. I also added in the Accountify platform for financial information management. You may then want to come up with risks around finance, which we already have in this case. We have risks around fake invoices being paid. I also added in the Talentify HR platform. These are silly names, but there seem to be a lot of companies that have those kind of suffixes in the names of their products. And yeah, they're just things where you might sort of fill in the gaps like, okay, any company needs to manage their financial information. So how do they do that? Because you don't want to find out that they manage their accounts using spreadsheets. It's just sitting in a folder on the cloud server that everyone can access, and there's no access control to access that information. And so previously you might have thought their access control was fine. And it's only when you ask about this particular type of confidential information, like, oh, obviously you guys manage financial information in some way. How do you do that? Where do you store it? And then, oh yeah, we don't use a certain platform. We just do it manually with spreadsheets, and it's just sitting here. And oh, actually, yeah, oops, everyone can access it. And so by asking these types of questions to fill in the gaps, you can definitely identify additional risks. We can especially see in the IT dependency section that I've added in these notes where I just felt that it was an example of something that the AI didn't necessarily create in the initial scenario. But when you think about it, if you've got a proprietary piece of software, where are you storing the code? How are you managing your development process? So this is a natural question to ask to understand where things like source code are stored. And as mentioned, I added in these two platforms because there was no mention of how financial information and accounting is managed or how HR information is managed. Both of these are very sensitive because you don't want company financial information to be disclosed. You want to protect that, protect the confidentiality of it. And in terms of sensitive HR information, things like gender, religion, any medical conditions, these are certainly very sensitive, and there will be big problems if these are not protected. Also, in this case, because SharePoint was mentioned for document management, I expanded this to be the whole Microsoft 365 suite. In this particular case for CargoTrail Logistics, I am not making any real changes to the risks based on this extra information that I filled in that I feel the AI missed if it wanted to give a more complete picture. It's very possible that this happens, that you don't really change anything, but it's still very important to make sure that you identify information gaps and you do fill them in, because it may be that one of those gaps does bring about new risks or fundamentally changes things. Even if it doesn't, you at least are more confident then that you have a complete picture, because if you don't have a complete picture due to information missing, you really can't make a comprehensive risk assessment, because if you realize you're missing information, then you really need to try and get that information. I put a link in the video description to an AI prompt you can use if you want to modify, slightly expand your existing scenario to simulate this additional information gathering phase. Or you can just keep your scenario as is. But the point is, it's very important to understand in real life, you will almost certainly have information gaps after your initial information gathering. And it's very important to identify these gaps when you analyze and think about the information that you've got. And you can then identify what's missing and go and get that extra information to ensure that you have a complete picture and therefore you have done a comprehensive risk analysis. You definitely should not just ignore the information gaps or make assumptions about them. It's definitely very important that you make sure you have the information that you need to do the risk assessment properly. So we've received the missing information that we needed from our client. In the next video, we're going to be building out the remaining sections of the risk table, including threats, risk factors, and consequences. Let me know in the comments if you can identify any additional information we should have requested from CargoTrail Logistics.